feminine, masculine, we're meant to go like this. So when you feel like you're fully united in union with the pure, strong, good masculine, it is life-changing. Hello and welcome to Faithfully Feminine. My name is Tilia and I'm so glad you're here. At this channel, we talk about faith, femininity and wellness, anything that can help us align closer with our feminine nature so we can enjoy our lives with joy and flow and freedom. If that sounds like something you'd like to hear more about, please subscribe. I'd love to have you as a part of our community. Today, we're going to be talking about my top 3 tips to become more feminine. Now, I will provide a caveat and say all of my videos are about how to become more feminine and align closer with your center. However, this video is for the people who just want a quick video, top 3 tips, what I believe is the most important keys to femininity and getting back in alignment. So if that's something you want to hear more about, stay tuned. Okay, so tip number 1, let's get straight into it. Accepting ourselves fully. This tip is a big one and it's not something that you can just tick off and it's very easy. To get to a place where you feel fully aligned with your feminine nature, there has to be a point where you are able to completely accept yourself. Before I started this journey, I was very caught up in trying to prove myself. I was in my masculine energy a lot of the time, proving myself, competing with other people, trying to earn my place on this earth, earn people's affections, earn their adoration. To really let go and become your true feminine self, you cannot be living from a place of rejecting yourself or not enoughness or feeling like you have to climb a ladder and prove yourself. So this tip is the hardest one and I'm getting the hardest one over and done with, and it will take time. It took me a really long time. Getting out of the masculine belief system that you aren't anything until you've achieved something. That's not how it works for feminine women. Feminine women understand that just their beingness, just existing brings delight to a man and the world and God. There is nothing to prove. There is nothing to do. To be truly restful and accepting of that is the first step and the firm foundation that you need to have to build on in your femininity journey. So what does it look like to accept yourself? It means when you encounter the yucky parts of yourself, when you're going through the muck, when you do something that you don't agree with or you're not meeting expectations, instead of ignoring that and keeping on the rat race, you sit with it. I literally mean you sit down and you cry and you descend. A lot of women talk about the feminine descent is so important, to go down and into the shadows before you can come back up and rise and be bright and vibrant and thrive. There has to be a true acceptance of the darkness inside of you. My example of this in my life is I've always been an anxious person. My struggle has always been with anxiety, and for many years I shoved it aside and I didn't realize, for maybe 5 years I thought that I'd conquered it. I thought I'd been healed and I was shoving it aside, but really I was channeling that anxiety into creating a life and doing more until I ended up burning out. What accepting that looked like for me was in the moments of anxiety or when I felt like I wasn't measuring up, I would sit and I would just look at the anxiety and feel it and let it flow through me and maybe cry or maybe shake or anything like that. But I would look at that part of myself and instead of ignoring it or calling it bad, I said, it's okay. You can stay. I accept you. I accept you. That's really hard to do. And it can be any facet of your personality that you find difficult to accept. But it is so, so important to accept every single part of yourself. Just to take away that need of proving yourself and I'm not good enough. You are not going to feel good enough until you tell yourself that you are. Until you fully accept yourself. Nobody externally can tell you you're good enough. No, a man can't, your family can't, your friends can't, even God can't if you are not going to completely receive it and look at yourself and choose to love the parts of you that are unlovable. There's a book called Women Who Run with the Wolves, and there's a story in it. I suggest you read it. It's quite good. It's very dense, but basically there's a story and it reflects on our psyche of this man who tries to outrun a skeleton. I'm really paraphrasing here. But the skeleton actually was connected to him, and it wasn't actually, and he was running and running, and he was in fear, and he was in terror, and he was just horrible, like outrunning, and the skeleton actually represented death. And finally, when he stopped running, he sat, and the skeleton stopped chasing him, and he looked at the skeleton and he saw beauty, and there was a huge transformation that took place. I'm skipping a lot here, but basically he turned and faced the skeleton. He turned and faced death, or what we would call something that's yucky and ugly and detestable. And he faced it, and he saw beauty in it, and he loved it, and he loved the skeleton back to life. That's what we need to do with the parts of us that we are running from. We need to stop, look at them, accept them. If it's something very toxic, you're not gonna say, yeah, this is okay, I'm gonna continue with it. But sitting in a place of, you're here and that's okay. That's okay. I'm not gonna push you away. I'm gonna look at you, I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna pour my heart and soul into you. I'm gonna hold you. A good way to do this is through shadow work or inner child work. And I won't go too far into that. I'm sure that psychologists can probably explain it better than I can. But if you'd like to look into that, that's a fantastic starting place as well. I also just want to add that when I was able to face my anxiety and look at it and say, you know what, it's okay, you can stay, its power over me was broken. It wasn't something I was running from anymore. It was something that I integrated and then moved through. And while I still struggle with it, when I accept it and remind myself it's okay to feel this way, I don't feel scared anymore. The power it has over me is broken. And then on top of that, I do believe in the healing power of Jesus. So first of all, you accept it, and then you can invite God in to come and heal you. Because what is hidden in the dark can thrive. When you're not looking at something, that's when it can continue. But if you bring it into the light of God, it is healed. Okay, big tip for number 1. So let's move on to tip number 2, which is so much more fun and easy and simple. Tip number 2 is that you need to make yourself feel good as often as possible. Often as possible. Like, there's not too many times in a day that you can do a little something to make yourself feel good. If you want to feel feminine and walk about your day as feminine, you need to start by treating yourself as if you are a woman to be adored. You are a woman to be given gifts. You are a woman who gets luxurious treatment everywhere she goes. You need to give yourself that treatment. When you do that, you can feel good and you can move through your days with such a lightness and like, I've been taken care of. And a little side note to this, which isn't the goal in the end, but if you treat yourself highly and if you believe that you're deserving of all of this treatment, then other people are going to pick up on that belief you have and reflect that back to you as well. But it all starts with you. So what do I mean by making yourself feel good? Well, there's a few things that I do personally, and I'm sure that you can think of things that generally make you feel good. For me, it's dancing and singing. The other day, I was just feeling so out of alignment. I was feeling grumpy and just like at odds with the world around me. And I put on my most favorite sensual music. I closed all of the blinds and I danced for half an hour, and I just danced like no one was watching, because no one was watching. I could do whatever I want, and it felt so good, and it just felt like it connected me straight back to my creativity and my flow. Another thing might be getting dressed up, having a full face of makeup, making yourself look good, because if you look good, then you can feel good too. Femininity is not about what you look like. However, femininity is about how you feel most of the time, and a lot of the time what you do externally. If you feel pretty, if you feel put together, if you feel beautiful, then that's going to make you feel good. Getting things like massages or facials, or even massaging yourself, doing drainage or comforting physical affection to yourself. I love a luxurious workout. I do reformer Pilates and it feels so like Pilates princess, but it makes me feel good because I'm moving my body, I'm staying fit, but the workouts, they hurt, but I don't feel like I'm really like smashing my body or anything. It feels like a really good type of pain. I do bar as well, which makes me feel good. And I'll often do a stretching class or just get my yoga mat out and stretch and just really feel into my body. You can take long showers or a long bath, light some candles, put on some beautiful music, have a bath bomb, anything that like nice scents, things that you want to smell good, getting yourself some flowers and exposing yourself to beauty. Being in nature. I think that nature is the most beautiful thing, but other people maybe are more into art or they love buildings. I don't know, but whatever your definition of beauty is, get around it. Where you can, stop and literally smell the roses. Walk past a tree and touch the tree. Appreciate everything around you like you're in a movie. This tip really maybe could even be called romanticize your life. That feels nice. But it's kind of bigger than that because it's not just like looking at how your life is and romanticizing it. It's actually doing something. It's like, what gift am I going to give myself today that's going to make me feel good and in my feminine? It might be eating a delicious meal. It might be baking. It might be creating something, writing in your journal. What makes you feel good? And prioritize that. That will absolutely pull you out of the hustle and bustle and masculine energy and into feminine energy where you're feeding into yourself, you're being creative, and you're getting very sensory. Really important to get sensory, to feel things. And on the other side of this, you want to be doing things to make yourself feel good, but when you don't feel good, it is so important to allow yourself to feel the negative feelings too. If you can feel the negative feelings, kind of like what we were talking about in the last tip, then your joy of the positive things will get stronger. You have to do on both sides. So if you're feeling really upset one day, go and sit, put on some sad music and feel it, allow it to move through you, and then move on and do something really lovely for yourself after that. All right, tip number 3, and the third and final one. To be more feminine in your everyday life, you need to acknowledge and receive consistently from the masculine around you. The core essence of femininity is to receive. The feminine is a receiver. So if you see yourself as an empty vessel, think about like your womb, which is a reflection of our feminine essence. It's empty unless you're having a baby and it wants to be filled. Now, masculine, their essence is to give and to do. I don't just mean men, but men are the best examples. But I'm talking about God, I'm talking about men, I'm talking about money, I'm talking about provision. So if you can view yourself and shift your focus that everything that you have in life is a gift from God, from the masculine, from men, and gratefully receiving it, you will be so surprised at how much more you get. And I'm not saying don't do this just to get stuff, because then that's warped. But what I am saying is when you can fully accept, oh, I want this thing, I yearn for this thing, and everything that I get is a gift. If you can sit and just accept that your vessel wants to be filled and is empty, and it's your place to just sit and receive, then you can view everything else in your life as a giver of good gifts to you. So for example, I am sitting in this beautiful home and this masculine couch, even though it's pink, this masculine couch is so strong, it's holding me up. That structure, I'm so grateful for it. Or I go for a walk and I see the beautiful creation. I go, oh, thank you, God, my Father, my provider. You have given me so much. Thank you. And you see everything as a gift from the masculine. If you have a partner or a husband, I make dinner and I'm like, oh, he provides me with the money to be able to eat this dinner. Even if you and him both earn money, you can still shift it to be like, I'm so grateful for my man who provides for me in this way. When you can look at everything that you receive as a gift from the masculine. You become like a magnet for blessings and that grateful attitude. It's reflected. Whatever you put out into the world, the vibration that you put out is going to come back to you. So if you're walking around being like, oh, I'm so thankful for the masculine is going to want to keep giving things to you. However, if you're looking around, you're like, I have to provide for myself, I have to do everything myself, I make my own money and I do this, I do that, then that's what's going to be reflected back to you. I work, I make my own money, but I see my job as a gift from God. I see the money coming into my bank account as straight from heaven, even if I was doing work for it. And it doesn't necessarily even feel that much like work anymore because I'm so grateful for my job that I'm able to eat and have the things that I love. It's a pure perspective shift of noticing where all the time God and the masculine is providing for you. A man opens a door for you. Maybe you're like, oh, I can hold the door myself. Or you just go, oh, that was like nice. Really, really appreciating, oh, that's so nice. I love it when men hold doors open for me. When you can see your life through this lens, again, it is like romanticizing your life and it makes you feel so giddy and good, and it helps you to flow through life and be like, oh, I'm so provided for in every area. I am so loved. I am so taken care of. I am so safe. Every way I'm so looked after. And when you can get your mind into that thinking pattern and see your life through this, your femininity is just going to soar. You're going to relax. You're going to be able to let go even more. You're going to be more in touch with your flowy nature and just be and not feel like you have to always be doing stuff. It's such a dramatic shift. When I was able to start seeing the masculine around me and love the masculine for providing everything that I have, it was not long after when I met my husband, because before that, I was just always seeing men and the masculine as dangerous or unpredictable or as unsafe, and I had to compete with them or protect myself. I had a really big shield. When I stopped doing that, and when I saw men as gifts from God, and when I expected good from them, and when I noticed how all the masculine structures of society support me and hold me, when I decided, and you don't have to feel this straight away, but when I decided to be grateful for it, when I decided to love and see the good in men and see the most noble in men, that is when something switched in my world. And I met my husband a couple months later, but before that, I had men coming to me constantly. Like I normally in public or people that I met, I wouldn't get a whole lot of attention from them, but once this shifted for me, I had so much attention from males everywhere that I went, because it's like they can feel that love for them and that goodness, not me expecting them to be unsafe or being critical of them. So this applies men, money. It's good to have a really positive relationship with money and the things around you and your father and your brother and your male friends. How can you see the good in them? How can you see how they bless you, the things they do for you, the things they give you? If you have some negative males in your life, don't focus on them. There are many, many, many good men in the world. Find them and appreciate them and watch your world get turned around. And then you can just have all this positive masculine energy around you, and you can just be in such peace and flow. I am talking a lot on this point because I truly, truly believe it, because my life changed. My life changed when I allowed the masculine to give to me, when I allowed them to be good, when I saw the noble in them, when I saw the strength and respected men. It shifted everything. So I hope that helps. Those are my 3 tips. 1, accept yourself. Go to the depths and accept the ugliest parts of you. 2, do everything you can to make yourself feel good when you can. Rest, dance, sing, showers, massages, whatever makes you feel good. Number 3 is gratefully receive from the masculine. See the masculine provide for you in every way that you can, and be grateful and rejoice in it. Relish in it, because the masculine is beautiful and so great. you know, feminine, masculine, we're meant to grow like this. So when you feel like you're fully united in union with the pure, strong, good masculine, it is life-changing. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Please put a comment down below if you have anything to add. I would love to hear from you, and I will see you in my next video.